So really, what they're telling you is not only do you not own your body, you own nothing. You don't even own the patents to your own genes. They're telling you you're a piece of property.
And they're telling us that they take all our baby's blood at birth. That's now admitted.
Oh, yes, and Australia came out through the fact they've been doing it for 30 years. One of the listeners went to get it back from them. They have them stored up in certain quarters. He wasn't allowed to get a hold of it 30 years ago.
Globally implemented 37 years ago.
Yep.
Absolutely, Alan. Stay there. Let's go over the body scanners, the humiliation, a lot more. And we want more ideas. Everybody take action. We're going to expose the naked body scanners, shocking the public into seeing how much we're being made to reveal. There's an article up on prisonplanet.com by Steve Watson with the headline, Breaking the Will of the People. The real purpose of body scanners. And you scroll down, it shows the Nazis and others strip-searching women in World War II. And that's what this is really all about. Going back to Alan Watt, great idea pointing out that they always strip you down before they kill you. I mean, it's a real act of submission. Do you agree with me that this telling everyone you will be naked body scanned is a key point in our conditioning and we must resist it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a definite one because Blair was talking about this long before this happened, this latest farcical incident. And it's an ongoing process of personalization, dehumanization, and getting the public to accept the fact that they're nothing but cattle. Literally, you're nothing but cattle. And you feel small, you start to obey and submit. Submission is what they're after for what's coming after this. But if I was going to have a demonstration, I'd also have them wear those fake tattoos on their forearms as well, or barcodes and all the rest of it as well, just to prove a point. This was all done before, and this is where it ends up, in these pits with bulldozers pushing bodies into pits. That's what I'd say, yeah.
That's a great idea. Hand out images of the women in the naked body scanners with barcodes on their heads. Add that. Or women and men can put barcodes on their heads, on their bodies, paint themselves with barcodes as some type of covering. Now, that's another excellent idea, Alan. Of course, what comes next here is medicalizing all this, taking blood and urine at the checkpoints. That's already happening under federal grants, warrantless taking of blood. They're also implementing, now announcing the DNA databases they've had globally implemented for 37 years. All of this, implantable microchips comes next. They're pushing that. They want in our bodies.
Well, they decided a long time ago that a stage would come where they'd have to gradually eradicate most of humanity so that 1 million people could live in high luxury. That's a statement still put out by the United Nations today. They say that we can either live as 7 or 8 billion peasants at a low state of living, or 1 million people can live in a high state. So they're bringing us down through sterilization, through the total destruction of the family, don't have children. And it's an ongoing long-term project. But in the meantime, they must further dehumiliate, because it humiliated, submissive to the authorities. And when you're trained, the whole technique of training is to first break the first priority, which is self-preservation and rights. You break that, and
modesty.
Level.
And modesty. Everybody knows the most evil governments strip you.
And see, what it presents is no privacy.
What do they do when you first come into a prison? They strip you and do a medical exam to humiliate you.
And they hose you down, yeah. They hose you down in front of the other prisoners, and they laugh at you, make jokes about you. And that's all part of it. So humiliate the people.
And when they arrested the protesters and my camera guy, they tortured Luke Radowski and others, made fun of them when they went to the bathroom, strung them up naked, and had troops there running it.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And they joke away and laugh away, whether you're male or female.
And, of course, that's really dehumanizing the soldiers as well.
It does. It actually brutalizes them. It teaches them to be more brutal, because an odd thing happens. It's been tested many times with different experiments, that they get into their roles, they begin to despise the meek and humble, groveling prisoners, and they become brutal. This is standard fare. Yeah.
And then they have their Project Hostile Intent where they're face scanning your facial expression saying, oh, you were frowning. That's my probable cause that you're a terrorist.
Exactly. In fact, they don't like any possible comeback. They take it personally when you look them in the eye, and they actually teach special forces what to do when you're in prison. Be humble, always look at the floor, never look it in the eye.
And remember 1984 when Winston said you had to watch the look on your face?
Well,
we're now here.
Yeah, this is an old technique. You see, even with the movie, a very good movie is called The Madness of King George. King George was mad. He had manic depressive bouts. And
look at Bilderberg. They're not allowed to look at him in the face there. I'm sorry. Go ahead. King George.
Back then, people don't realize that it was a crime. It was a crime to look the king in the eye. An absolute crime. You were locked up in prison for it. And that was in the 1800s. And right up into the 1900s, you were not allowed to look them in the eye. Hillary Clinton did the same thing when she was in the White House. None of the staff could look her in the eye. It was a major offense. And this is the standard technique of the psychopath at the top, who's utterly brutal and wants total subservience from all the meek and humble beneath them. And the more you comply and be meek and humble, the more they despise you for being so weak.
And then that legitimizes their abuse of you in their sadomasochistic minds. And notice all the torture in Iraq and the secret bases in Europe, it's all sexual. That's been declassified. Raping children, using battery acid, Jeffrey Dahmer, Hellraiser stuff is now good. The psychopaths are turning the whole world's psychological atmosphere into hell.
Don't give up the fight.
In the next few days, we'll post all the details at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. 3 new contests. $10,000 for the best protest video. And it can be whatever you want. I think that the topless thing, bare minimum, because the public doesn't fully understand you are naked being recorded. I think it's going to devastate them, use their own tools against them. Because that's an act that you willfully do instead of them forcing you. You are taking that like judo and using it against them. $5,000 for the best poster against airport scanning, and whoever puts up the most and does the best job, okay, you will win $5,000. And then what was the other one I came up with? It was another $5,000 for something. I'll have to go back and listen. I was spontaneously thinking of that on air. I said $5,000 for something else. There was another form of protest that I said was another $5,000. I'm going to have to go listen to that. Did we write notes on that? My third? No. There's 3 contests. $10,000 for the protest, best video, preferably topless. Oh, $5,000 for the best political stunt. That's right. Good job, dude. $5,000 for the best political stunt. Legal banner hangs. Of course, they all selectively enforce that. Events, stuff on TV, whatever you can do. Best stunt that you videotape and post to YouTube. Best legal stunt. I mean, that could be in your county where it's legal, putting on a $5,000 free fireworks contest and getting people there and handing out to 5,000 people body scanners and telling them, let's go protest next week. I don't know what the stunts are. I mean, let's see what you come up with. That's $20,000 in prize money. How do I pay for that? You, the listeners, purchase the books and videos from Infowars.com, and we slashed all the prices because of the economy. My mission is to get the materials out. When you get Fall of the Republic for $19.95, my latest and most powerful film, it's got Alan Watt in it, Max Kaiser. It's got Webster Tarpley. It's got economist in there, of course, George Humphrey. It's got Gerald Celente. The list just goes on and on. Myself in the film, it documents their whole agenda. And we're having victories against them. They're not invincible because we know their game plan. Get a free T-shirt of your choice or get a free video. We have a bunch of special combo deals right now at Infowars.com. And when you purchase books and videos, you support what we're doing. We're not funded by George Soros. We're not funded by the government like all these globalist right-wing, left-wing groups. We are patriots standing up, and the globalists hate the example we've made of leadership and strength and honor. They don't want you to know that you have power. They don't want you to know you can stand up. They want to make you hopeless. But we're standing up and showing people the power of the people. Look what happened in Copenhagen. That was annihilated. We'll get Alan Watt's take on that. Infowars.com to take advantage of the deals, the free videos and T-shirts, or 253-3139. You can also write to me at P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas 78760. That's P.O. Box 19549, Austin, Texas 78760. And 5+ months free right now at prisonplanet.tv until next Friday. And then that deal is gone until next year. The New Year's special, prisonplanet.tv. Okay, Alan, I'm going to try to shut up now. I'm just so wound up about what's happening because I have never let my family, my children have never flown because I won't have them strip searched or beat up, or they're always killing people in the TSA. And I can't watch them humiliated, taking their shoes off and being indoctrinated to be slaves for the next phase of being naked body scanned. And they use the instrumentality of a machine like that makes it okay. Be like instead of a cop shooting you in the head, he had a robot shooting you in the head, so it's okay.